Now, I'm not one to gossip, but I will bring you the tea. Welcome to Chronicle Speaks.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
So there are big twists in the federal case against Sean P. Diddy Combs. Prosecutors just recently lost a major witness, and it's sending shockwaves through the courtroom. Known only as Victim 3, this witness was central to the sex trafficking allegations. Now, the crazy part about all of this is that just last week, through a court document, Victim 3 stated that she did not want to testify under a pseudonym. She wanted to use her real name. Now, Victim 3 was a key alleged victim in the federal sex trafficking investigation. Her testimony was expected to support claims that Diddy ran a network involving sexual exploitation and abuse. Now, according to the Hollywood Reporter, prosecutors told the court that Victim 3 is no longer cooperating. This person was previously in contact with federal investigators and had provided damning information. Now she's gone silent, possibly due to fear, pressure, or second thoughts. Now, 3 of the 4 alleged victims in the case are all former girlfriends of Diddy, and they're saying that because Victim 3 was an alleged girlfriend, she had firsthand knowledge of the alleged abuse, including being trafficked across state lines, drug use and coercion, and connection to other accusers and events in Diddy's home. So we're going to break everything down and find out exactly what this means for the diddler. But before we do that, please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this story and so much more. Now let's get back into it.
I'm a savage. Whatever I want, I'm going to get. Whatever I want, I have to get.
So the process began earlier this month and continued this week with intense screening of potential jurors. Now, dozens have already been dismissed. Many admitted that they've seen too much media coverage to remain unbiased. Now, as you know, Diddy isn't just a celebrity. He's been a household name for over 30 years. With the constant headlines and viral stories surrounding what many are calling the trial of the century, it's been extremely difficult to find jurors who haven't already formed an opinion about the fallen mogul's possible guilt. So here's what's going down today in court. Now, both Diddy's team and the prosecutors will get another shot at grilling potential jurors. Now, they're diving deep, asking questions about people's personal backgrounds, any experience with violence, and whether they can look at evidence, including sexual assault and abuse, without jumping to conclusions. Now, remember, Diddy is facing some serious federal charges. Now, Diddy currently has a 5-count indictment against him, which includes things like sex trafficking, racketeering, and transporting women across state lines for prostitution. Now, he's pleaded not guilty and says that all of the claims against him are completely false. Now, part of picking a fair jury involves a questionnaire that every potential juror had to fill out this week. They were asked some real personal stuff, like if they could remain unbiased even if celebrities' names popped up during the trial. And get this, the list of names that were shown included Michael B. Jordan, Kid Cudi, Mike Myers, and Michelle Williams.
Now, why am I in it?
And you could have did it.
See how I get wrong?
Because you never apologized.
Now, on top of all of that, each juror had to go through a one-on-one interview with Judge Arun Subramanian. Now, one woman got dismissed after saying the leaked hotel footage of Diddy assaulting Cassie back in 2016 looked like damning evidence. That video, which hit CNN last year, is clearly making this whole jury process more complicated. Even Diddy's lawyer was visibly frustrated, saying it's tough to find people who aren't already influenced by what they've seen online. One guy who did make it onto the panel even admitted to liking a Dave Chappelle joke online about all of the baby oil found at Diddy's house during the FBI raid.
But if you get to be 55, and Puff is 55, you don't look old, but niggas paying half prices to movies. If you 55 and you got 1,000 bottles of baby oil in the house, clearly, can't stop, won't stop.
Now, he chalked it up to mindless scrolling, and they are still going to let him through. Now, the reason why this week is so important is because the jury literally decides Diddy's fate. So this week's decision could shape the entire trial. If either side feels the jury is unfair, they could try to delay the trial or even request a mistrial later on down the line. So this judge is pretty fair. He is making sure that both sides get a fair shot at picking the jury, and he's warned the lawyers about turning the process into a media circus. So we have breaking news. The jury selection will now conclude on Monday instead of Friday after a ruling by Judge Arun Subramanian. So prosecutors are saying that they will have an answer on whether victim 3 will testify by the end of the day. Diddy's lawyers had asked for the delay, saying that they were concerned that more jurors would get cold feet between now and Monday, and it would be safer to wait until then. Prosecutors strongly opposed this and said it should move ahead today because it could cause long delays on Monday before opening statement. The judge had leaned towards the delay, saying that if they finish choosing the jury on Monday, certainly you're not going to have to redo jury selection or worse. So the judge agreed with Diddy. Prosecution is not happy with it, but it is what it is. Now, very pregnant Cassie Ventura is set to be victim number 1 and testify against Diddy in his federal trial. Now, her impact could be devastating for the defense and potentially game-changing for the prosecution. Now, Cassie is a woman whose story triggered an avalanche of allegations. Her civil lawsuit filed in late 2023 and settled quickly detailed a decade of abuse, trafficking, coercion, and violence. Now, if she takes the stand and tells that same story under oath, it could potentially validate other alleged victims' accounts, helping prosecutors show a pattern of his behavior, and it can also add emotional weight and credibility to the case, especially if she testifies confidently and consistently and cries with that pregnant belly. Now, Cassie's words could indeed connect everything, showing how Diddy allegedly used money, fear, and drugs to control her across state lines. And this matters because prosecutors are currently trying to prove racketeering and trafficking on a federal level. Now, victim 1 was an ex-girlfriend, victim 2 was an ex-girlfriend, and victim 3 was an ex-girlfriend, and they are all set to testify on the prosecutor's behalf. But victim 3 has gone missing, and prosecutors are scrambling to find her. Now, this isn't just some side witness. Victim 3 was supposed to be a key voice, someone with first-hand knowledge of Diddy's alleged sex trafficking operation. And according to prosecutors, this person had critical details that could help tie the case together. But now she's gone silent, and prosecutors admitted in court this week that they've lost contact. She's not responding, she's not cooperating, and the feds have no idea as to why. Victim 3 going missing is a little unsettling because on April 29th, the prosecution wrote a letter to the judge, and it says the government writes in response to the court's April 22nd, 2025 order seeking additional information regarding the use of a pseudonym for victim number 3 at the upcoming trial in the above captioned matter. After conferring with victim 3's counsel, the government understands that victim 3 does not wish to use a pseudonym during her testimony, which means she wants to use her real name. Now, one of the reasons why the prosecution was wanting this victim to testify during the trial is because alleged victim 3 had a medical procedure that was related to sex trafficking. Now, on April 25th, there was a hearing, and during that hearing, the prosecutors told the judge the medical procedures, plural, not singular, goes directly to the degree of control he had over her, consent to specific sexual acts. It's relevant to the question of coercion. The judge said, you're not alleging that the procedure was part of the alleged sex trafficking. Prosecution said related. So Diddy's team filed a motion to keep the evidence of this medical procedure out of the court. So the judge told the prosecutors, look, you can file a motion to pretty much fight back and forth with Diddy to get these medical procedures brought into court. And the prosecution was like, you know what, forget it. We got other stuff on them. We'll let this go. However, it seems like victim 3 was a pretty strong witness. The prosecution was definitely betting on being able to use her to be able to testify against Diddy, but now she has gone missing. Prosecutor Maureen Comey said on Wednesday, we do not know whether she intends to appear, and we are trying very hard to find out because we are having trouble communicating with her counsel, adding that the the admission came following pressure from the court for an update on the matter. Now, Comey told the court that the woman the prosecution has called victim 3 does not live locally and may not show up even if we try to enforce the subpoena and want to call her. This comes a week after the federal prosecutor said they've spoken to her lawyer and she was now willing to use her real name in court. So with knowing the person that we've been told Diddy is, with the amount of money he has at his disposal, was victim 3 threatened or was she paid?
The world may never know.
What I need to do is hear from you. What do you think about everything going on in the world of Diddy? Leave a comment and you know how we do. We'll talk about it down below. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Thanks for watching, but before you go, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on any of my new episodes.